Very excited to have a sponsor for our podcast. Ultra Sabers, the leaders in handcrafted custom lightsabers. Go to ultrasabers.com and pick out your new lightsaber today. Take advantage of the autumn raffle they have going on, which is actually really cool. It's a limited time raffle that they have going until October 14th, and if you purchase a saber for the amount of $250 or more, you will automatically be put into this raffle, and they're giving away over 30 lightsabers at this time. Again, if you go to ultrasabers.com and order your new saber before October 14th and enter autumn raffle in the coupon code, and also you have to enter your login name from saberforum.com, so you will need to set up an account on saberforum.com. There's more information on that forum about the autumn raffle that they're doing right now, so log in and check it out. Also, if you order before October 22nd, Ultra Sabers guarantees that you get your saber before Halloween, which is incredible. Unlike the competition, which you could wait months to get a custom-made lightsaber like this. Back to you, Rondo.
Sweet, well put together. And if you beat me on this raffle, I'm gonna whoop you as bad as I will next SakuraCon when I meet up with Talonzz with our epic battle of the lightsabers next year. He'll tell you a little bit about that next year once he gets the whooping brought down upon him. All right.
Oh, you're going down. You're going down.
All right, so today to start us off, we got Big bringing us the Reddit news of the week. Dun dun dun. That's our music for the podcast right now.
Nice music there. All right, our story comes from Melee Cyrus. He was actually quite interesting. He was struggling with learning French, and he was spending too much time gaming, so he thought he would put the two together, and he decided to install SOTOR with the French language pack. He said it actually did help quite well. He was using the conversations to allow his oros skills. The subtitles also would help his reading skills. Hearing the NPCs talk would help his pronunciation, and then choosing a conversation was able to help him think critically in a second language. I just think that's awesome, being able to do something you like, do some gaming, and be able to help with school. So when he was doing his homework, he can just tell his mom, or when he was playing his game, he can just say, "Hey mom, I'm doing homework." So like I said, I thought that was pretty awesome.
I don't think that would fly with my mom. What about you guys? Does that fly with your mom?
No, I don't think my dad would have went down for that.
That's kind of actually how I learned English. I put on Sesame Street.
That's a good point. I mean, we do have Froggers now, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry, Leapfrog. I said Froggers.
If I learned a new language, I don't think my parents would care, as long as I knew another language.
But so that's the point. So we've got Leapfrog for little children. How do you sort of bring that into today's day and age for like a good high schooler? And I'm thinking, yeah, let me play some SWOTOR, and they're speaking gibberish. I feel like I'm, listening to the alien languages and learning it if I was watching the movies.
Well, and also in the story, I'd like to point out, he said he's actually getting A's in all his other classes, but he was struggling in his German classes and not pulling A's, and he said this actually helped him turn his grades around as well. I mean, it might not necessarily be that it just got him more interested in actually learning a language and doing it. And, if anything you're going to learn, you got to do it with passion. So, if it helps him out, then I'd say do it. I'd let my kids. If I was dumb enough to have any kids, that is.
Hey. So, Ignitia, you know any different languages?
Well, mainly I know English and bad English and a little bit of French myself. But yeah, this is a great idea. I mean, it's the same thing. Like I was learning Spanish for a good minute there, and the best way I actually learned how to do it was at a period of time where, well, I'm going to straight up say this: I had the Lion King memorized, and had it played completely in Spanish, and I understood exactly what parts and what the phrases were and what the wordings were, and it was actually easier to be able to speak Spanish with like other people, like employees and all that stuff when it came to actual work. And this is this kind of stuff that will really, really help out people with foreign language.
So you think he has something going for him then, huh?
Oh yeah, this is great stuff right here. I mean, Melee Cyrus right here has an amazing idea. He needs to keep doing it and, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Hold on, I think we just missed something important here. Ignitia, did you just say you could sing us The Lion King in Spanish?
I think that's what I heard. I heard he's gonna sing us The Circle of Life here in just a second.
No.
So, wait.
No.
I missed that altogether.
No.
Oh, he's too big of a man.
He said he had,
the only greatest single cartoon that was ever released. Come on, you're not too big of a man for that.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to straight up say I'm not the greatest singer of all time. I mean, if I started doing it, we'd lose all kinds of viewers for our podcast. I'm just saying.
Oh,
it's not the greatest thing in the world. I make
Well, we have actually, from Comrade Waffles, a 1,000,000 credit offer. 1,000,000 credit offer for you to sing the Lion King song.
Wait,
He's
I don't know.
saying
We
the
might lose
whole
our.
song.
We might lose our sponsorship in a second here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the many credits is very, very tempting, but maybe I might do that on a later time. If you guys want to just, hit us up on the Bastion server and, as for the band, I might sing it in there. But it's not going to be right now.
how about we release it as an MP3 ringtone that people can download off
Oh,
of
that'd be
42
great. Is Ignitia bloating right now?
My ASA up to 1.5 mil.
I'm
1.5.
blushing right now? Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I said I'm
blushing.
I'm throwing in 5 million, so that's 6 million right there, or 6.5 million.
Oh jeez, just bring the lyrics right up on your screen there. Just
do
go
it.
to
Well, I
town.
guess I'm gonna be looking up.
He doesn't even know the lyrics. I don't know what happened here. I mean, we're having some great conversation about learning new languages, and this is great.
I haven't seen The Lion King in a decade, all right? So leave me alone on that one.
Oh man, have kids. You'll watch it like 3 times a week.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, Codger, I mean, you got kids too, right? Can we get a 6.5 million offer for Codger? I think he'd do it in his nice Russian accent.
Well, exactly. We know he
Me?
would, so that's not an
true.
offer for him.
So he's cheap, is what you're
God,
saying.
yeah, I'd do it. I know that. I know the song forwards, back.
All right. So I mean, back to the whole language thing. I know growing up, must be one of those hardcore Americans, right? I had so much trouble learning languages. I could not do it. I'm talking D's in Spanish, and supposedly that's like the easiest one to learn. If I had something like this, I think I could do it, and maybe have fun with it.
Same here. I took Spanish 1 3 times as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I have a cousin who did not pass high school because he couldn't pass Spanish. And so maybe we just come from those American families, like I guess it was just like I got better things to do, and it was called party or something. But this is fun because I loved playing games growing up. I mean, I grew up on the Final Fantasy series, and I'm thinking if the only way I could have played Final Fantasy 7 or 6 on the Super NES was in Spanish, and I had to learn what was being said, I think I could do it. I mean, I think I could have forced myself to do it.
I had a similar experience when I was taking foreign language in high school. Back in the day, we didn't have MMOs to do that with, like you were saying with your NES, but I was taking German, and I would basically follow German bands and pick up their lyrics, translate them, which would then cause me to learn the new words, having to go through each dictionary, and then listening to it repeatedly, you get the pronunciation, you get the phrasing down. That actually helped me quite a bit.
Yeah, so I think like we're all pretty much on the same page on this one. It's a great idea, and I hope he continues it. I hope he gets A's, and I hope someday if my kids are into games and they can't seem to uh, get good grades and something, I have the the ability to let them do this also. So our second topic, we're going into 12v12. Space Combat was announced this week, and this is something that on either end, it's got a double-edged sword. I think there's a lot of people that are happy, and there's a lot of people that are maybe a little bit upset about it. I mean, Ignitia, can you tell us a little bit about the new 12v12 Space Combat?
Well, as of right now, frankly, I do not consider an expansion overall. But there's a lot of good stuff coming with the Galactic Starfighter second digital expansion. It's 12v12 PvP combat. As it's stated, it's free flight. It's straight PvP with friends and companions. Multiple battle zones and gameplay modes. There is also going to be an internal leveling system for your starfighter. You will be able to customize it, and you'll be able to get other different versions of it. There will be different ship roles, like scout and gunship, and you will also be able to earn in-game rewards like additional XP and give your ground game characters a boost. So far, when it comes to it graphically, I believe it looks. I think it looks fantastic. It's going to add a new dynamic to the game itself. I've been looking forward to this. But at the same time, I think 12v12 is pretty big. I want to know more when it comes to, like, is this going to be like a 3-hour fight or something like that? When it comes to like the last two, is there going to be a respawn timer, etc., etc., etc.? There's not enough information coming out, and the fact that they're calling it a digital expansion, it kind of makes me feel a little bad, because they straight up said there's not going to be any new war zones, no new operations, no new jump in the level or anything like that. It's just this.
And if you subscribe,
frankly,
it's
that's
free.
kind of disappointing. And if you subscribe, it's free. But that's the only thing I find disappointing, is it's just this. I can see this as a glorified patch, not as an expansion.
Well, Codger, here's the question. They were having trouble getting 8-man ranked groups together, and if they introduce something like ranked into this, how do you feel that this is gonna? Or do you think it's gonna be possible to get 12 people together?
No, it'll flop. So every server is different, but in regards to what I've seen so far, I think it's going to be a big flop. You have way too many people that have small guilds, don't have enough manpower, etc., to try and put teams together for 8-man ranked, hence 4-man arena. That's why they did 4-man. And it's a hell of a lot easier to pug one of those and to get in with a decent team, get lucky, than it is to pug an 8-man ranked, let alone forming team.
Yeah, 12 seems
Putting
like a lot.
It is and it isn't. When you're looking online, I hate to do this, but if you compare it to console gaming, pick a game, doesn't matter, but you generally have 16 on either side, right? There are a lot of times people will roll with the same team. You have an option of like grouping up with them right then and there, and all of a sudden you've formed your team. I mean, you run into essentially a pug. Find a bunch of guys that are just as good as you, vice versa, and you all kind of roll together for the next 3 to 6 hours, just having your way, winning matches left and right. I mean, if there's something like that would actually happen in game, great. It doesn't happen in this game. It just doesn't.
So
that stuff is too far few in between.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, I'm like a PvE guy, haven't really gotten to the PvP stuff. That's why we brought you on, because you are like our PvP guy in the guild. And the fact of the matter is, I'm looking at me, Talonzz, and Ignitia. Ignitia likes to PvP, but he's been stuck in PvE lately, and I just think that this might bring some more PvEers in, because it seems like just a different concept. And I don't know if any of you guys agree with me, but I think Ignitia will probably start PvPing again. And then the fact of the matter, you can put your ship together, that's super cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is actually a very, very good thing. in the fact that it adds another dynamic. I don't believe there's going to possibly be ranked mode on this because 12v12, like Codger stated, is just a lot. I mean, 8v8s were not really that great when it came to actual PvP Warzone, but this is a whole different dynamic. I would like to know, there's only a few statements I would actually like to know when it comes to this game is, will you be able to, queue as one big 12-man ops group? Will you be able to do it as 8 or 4 or whatever? I'd like to know what other specifics that they have coming in with this. I think it's a great concept. I think it may be a little late, but at the same time, I believe it's going to change the monotony of the game altogether.
I hate that. A little late. I mean, come on. They're trying so hard. Come on, people. Give them a break.
No. I don't have a problem with Bioware and their new project. I mean, the thing is the Unreal system wasn't really that great. When it came to that
Talonzz
space combat,
was good
it was fun. Oh, yeah, but it was fun. It was fun at first, but I believe this is changing the whole dynamic of it. It's open. It's free. It's open space combat. I mean, they're literally bringing the return of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. It's amazing, and I want to see this.
Wouldn't it be the start though?
Yeah,
because X-Wings aren't around yet. I mean, I'm just.
I think you can't say anything but great things about this. I mean, come on, how long has it been since we've been waiting for some legitimate space combat off-rail system? And my one question when I went to the Q&A was, what are they gonna do about space combat in the future? And all they said was, watch your little USB thing, because that was the first video that they released on it. I'm ecstatic about it. I think it's exactly what this game needs. I mean, half of the Star Wars lore takes place in space. You can't kill a Death Star unless you have space battles. And I think it just opens up a whole a new thing, what they're doing, because obviously they're just going to expand on this. And, who knows, you may be able to siege other people's guild ships and have all out, guild on guild wars, which would be incredible.
No! Did you just say Guild Wars?
But I'd like to also add on to Talonzz. I also think that this feature that they're going to implement right now, I actually believe it's going to add that next dynamic to where we can actually probably get more people into the community that are specifically wanting to do something like this. This is what they've been waiting for, being able to do space combat in the Star Wars fields. I mean, if you actually look at the screenshots, that I was looking at, I mean, it looks fantastic. I mean, the graphics are BioWare's on top of their game when it comes to this. I'd like to know more. And
well, it's too early to know more, and I think that's part of the thing,
Yeah, you'll know more on November 1st.
And it's just going to be the start as well. I mean, this can unlock, they might start out as just this, but they eventually might be able to turn in, if it goes off, they might be able to turn into an operation where the first mission of the operation, you have to take your ship in to take out the fighters just to land on the planet to be able to finish the operation. They could do some interesting stuff, and I think if it goes well, I think it would eventually lead into guild capital ships, which I think, we've all been waiting for.
I have been. That and a crest.
And
give me something to put on my boobs or something. Like, I'll put it on my forehead. Just let me say, I'm from COE, I'm in this guild. I'll put it on my butt.
Going back to X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, you guys were mentioning, I was huge on the X-Wing games back in the day. Loved it. And my favorite part about it, and I wish they had come out with a newer version, is the fact that you could just roam anywhere in space. You weren't tied down to a certain area where you're doing a bunch of monkey trick barrel rolls. I mean, I do not like space combat. It is not free. You don't get to really have a whole lot of roaming around. You're stuck to a confined space. X-Wing enabled you to just do some of the most craziest stunts and fun you could possibly think of, as well as completing your mission in the process of it.
That's the one where
If
you could
they
go down to
turn
like
this,
Tatooine too, right? And you could like take out buildings. Is that the one I'm thinking of? What was that? It was like on the Nintendo 64. Or
yeah, they probably they had they ported it over, but there's a couple of areas like that, for example, where you were very limited to on planets you were limited to where you can go, but when you were in space it didn't matter, you can go anywhere. They turned this into that. They've put on the full-blown 12v12 match where you can fly anywhere, you're not really limited, confined to stupid barrel rolls. I may be interested. I'm definitely going to give it a try because, well, it's PvP, and I fancied myself as a pretty decent pilot back in the day. I just couldn't get over the space missions. I just don't like the format.
yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
see
the
this.
Unreal
I
system
would.
was not.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I would love to see this leave the PvP, area. But I don't think. I think this game is too instanced for us to see going down into a planet and sieging the planet. I think it's too instant. I could see them making an entire maybe like space instance the size of Balmora or something like that. But how does that is that enough, guys? Is that a big enough space?
No.
Well, no. I mean, you're gonna have to try
No.
to bring up almost entire sectors into
Yeah.
really actually building this up to the way Codger's talking about, like straight up X-wing versus TIE fighter. I mean, if you put out like say the central systems or the outer ring, or you want to see everything. You want to be able to see Balmora, Coruscant, and just be able to do everything that comes into play. I mean, based on but on the same thing at the same time. I mean, it's supposed to be a lot faster. Everything's a lot bigger out in space, and it's it should be able to be to the point where you could just dip the hell out and come back in, massacre a few people. But at the same time, it's. I think the concept for this is really, really good. It's a new step of on the first thing of getting off the rails, which I am very, very happy about. I don't like the fact that I'm on a set flight course and all I can do is do a barrel roll on occasion, and this is you need to shoot the same thing over and over and over again. This is different. You are going up against other people. You're getting to have, and at the same time, you also, based on what I was told, is there's going to also be objectives going on at the same time that need to be taken care of while in a PvP style combat.
But that's what I'm saying. But
Like throttle
I
control?
hear
I think
Codger.
it's gonna
I'd
be
love
great.
to flip up on my back, do a freaking barrel roll, come
I
up
want-
on. Man, I love Top Flight, man. Like Top Gun. I mean,
Throttle
Top Gun
control.
is it. Let's
2
do
words.
this. Yeah, throttle
Oh yeah,
control.
if you watch
Let's
the video,
down,
if
get
you
out,
watch the
boom.
video, they have. It looks like they have throttle control. They definitely have a speed boost, like a punch hit on there, but it definitely looks like they have a throttle control as well.
No, see I don't know. I'm definitely gonna try it, and then we're gonna have to run another podcast.
We're gonna do
after I
another
give a good
podcast when we
week
get more
of
information
playing.
for sure.
But yeah, well, no, forget more information. I want first hands. I'll come back and report to you. Yay or nay. But never. I mean, I want that throttle control. That's what made X-Wing and TIE Fighter and all that stuff. I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I was so nerdy about it. My favorite was a B-Wing. I would only play with the B-Wing any chance I got. If you guys know what that is, kudos.
Yeah, it's the it's the if I remember exactly, it's like the bomber class.
Yeah.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
a nerd.
It's a heavy bomber class.
I'm a freaking
It was-
nerd.
it
I
was
read the
that-
whole X-Wing Rogue Squadron series, so like don't even bring it up. So
Well, if
Yeah,
I wasn't
I-
running that, I was running an A-Wing just for the speed. I mean, they really went and did an amazing job with those games. What, 15 years ago? So I've got some incredibly high expectations of BioWare when they say they got this 12-man PvP deal. I mean, they had better do it right.
yeah, and I think that we all feel that way, right? Before we move on, anybody else got anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that the expectations are high, but anything's better than the space combat that we have. So on one end, I say that I'm just excited to see. It looks like it's more incorporated into the game and not the separate. The old space combat was an arcade game within Star Wars. You know, you get in your ship and you go into this game, and it's like you're playing a little arcade on rails shooter, you know, in space.
Asteroids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, this definitely looks like it's gonna bring you into Star Wars in space combat and incorporate and feel like Star Wars: Old Republic, but you know, in space.
I think as we move on,
I
we're
hope.
going to see more about how the devs feel about it, and I think at that point is when we're going to know how. The more excited they seem, I think the better off we'll be when it comes out. But moving on, this is something that
Wait,
I think.
hold on. Real quick, I just spotted this. This is also gonna also have an in-game talent system for the space combat, which is, I don't know. I'm of two feelings on that one. I'm just putting that out. I
Well,
just found that
seeing the data mine
on
info,
Reddit.
yeah, they had it, and I think you're going to be able to spec into like a support class, tank class, you know, DPS type class, which I think is going to be interesting, you know, so you'll be able to get different combinations. And also the companions we didn't talk about, you know, we don't really know what that is, so that might be able to help fill those gaps where, you know, you could technically have a 5-player versus 5 players, but, you know, have your companions kind of fill in as well, and you might be able to choose what type of role they fill in as well, too. So, you know, that should be cool to see if that gets implemented. So, you know, you might not necessarily be able to, but, you know, you can still kind of have that epic battle of 12 versus 12. You know, but you might not necessarily need all 24 players to get that done.
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to return to this as we find out some more. You know, just we spent a long time on this subject, so I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and move on. And this is something that, to me, I think I'm like yay or nay on it. I'm like middle ground, but I'm more disliking. It's glitching bosses. I've noticed that lately a lot of guilds who don't seem to be able to down the nightmare mode content have started doing the boss glitching thing. And you know, that's not always a bad thing, especially for guilds who have done a boss enough times that they just want to move on. But my question to the panel is, do you think that if these fights, like obviously BioWare hasn't been fixing them, but as these fights get fixed, is it going to hurt the guild? Or is it not going to make any difference because they already have the gear?
I got that one. You guys don't. We're way too awesome to glitch a boss. This doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's
we've
be honest
never
here,
done
you know.
What?
COE has never done.
No, what?
But I'm a person of two standpoints on this. I think in certain cases, glitching a boss is almost a necessity in some aspects. I mean, there was like, you know, you're supposed to having to build around bugs and all this stuff when it comes to certain bosses. Like, say, in case in point with the solo fight and Dash Root fight from S&B, there's a lot of
Working as intended.
RNG and well, I can't really confirm or deny that. If they say it's working as intended, I don't believe it. But like the Dash Root fight, I mean, you got like this random chance of having multiple people get completely just, you know, sent out into the desert and they don't have any shields, so they practically die every time. You have to work around the bug itself. And Solo was huge with working around the bug and having to glitch the boss a little bit just to actually possibly have an attempt of actually killing them, especially on Nightmare mode, way back when the game was first put out. But at the same time, I mean, does it hurt a guild? Yes, it does, because as soon as they throw that fix, you need to. A guild needs to revert back to the actual mechanics of what the fight was supposed to be at in the first place. And I don't think they're going to be ready. Even with the gear, it's going to take a good amount of temps and wipes just to actually get that back to par instead of actually going in and go, well, okay, we can go to a special area and we don't get hurt by, like, say, the sandstorm and, kill the boss and make it like just a tank and spank compared to actually doing it the right way, which is far more difficult.
Well, I think Big brought it up like the best way the other day. It's these new fights even that we're getting are not gear orientated. So even if you were able to glitch something and they fixed it, and now you don't know how to do the mechanic, I just think, like, why even glitch it in the first place is my general consensus on that, unless you're to the point where if you don't glitch it, you're gonna blow your freaking head off. I mean, what do you think, Big?
Yeah,
I mean, I just think, like, you were telling us the other day that you just didn't think that these bosses were downable with the greatest geared people who had no idea what they were doing.
Exactly, and I think that's what they're trying to go for is, less away from there. But, I mean, it depends on it. I mean, if you're doing it and trying to count a server first, then I think, you should, do it the mechanics and make sure it's down that way using the mechanics as intended. But, if you're to the point where, you've geared a couple people through, the first few bosses of Nightmare Mode and you've had 2 or 3 of your raid members have to leave, and then you're having to either start, the normal way and try and, down 1 boss or 2 a week, or you can try glitching a few bosses to help kind of get that gear back up, then it's okay. I mean, again, if you're not part of the server first, then I don't have a problem with it. If it's a big issue, they shouldn't, they should fix the bugs there. I've spent enough time, like Ignitia was saying, bugged out on SOA and other fights that I feel if I get to glitch a few bosses now, then I'm getting some of that lost time.
But when they fix it, are you losing more time?
Well, I mean, if you have to, again, I mean, you're going to have to do it. If there's no bugs, you're going to have to get the fight down. If it's glitched for 2 or 3 weeks, you're able to get a few pieces of gear, then have to go back and do it the normal way. I'm fine with that. I love doing progression, and I love smashing my face against the wall sometimes and to knock down these bosses. And gear is not too important. As long as we have enough gear to down the fight, that's all I care about.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm just wondering if, as a raid leader, if you guys would want your group doing it this way.
Like I said, I'm a man of 2 different deals. I mean, if I was struggling, trying to get through content and actually having, banging my head against a wall for like 2 to 3 months straight, it's going to be to the point where it's like, what, screw it, let's try to glitch the boss so we can move on. But if like Big said, if you're going for realm first or world first or anything that's considered into the high tier rating, and you're posting your results and you're showing your kills, the times, and all that stuff, you need to do it the right way. There is no reason why you can't do it the right way. I mean, yes, some of these bosses are buggy, but you can work around the bug on occasion. I mean, there hasn't been any progression guilds that are, in the upper tier that are struggling that bad to actually have to glitch the boss to where they can do it the most easiest way possible.
No.
But
I'm sorry.
But at the same time, the biggest thing I would actually like to state is people need to understand that certain glitches are almost required to get through a boss when it comes to doing some bugs. I consider, like I was reading on the SWTOR forums the other day, the Thrasher fight, somebody wanted to consider that guild not having a legitimate kill on that fight because they ran into that group with 4 melee, 3 of which were warriors, and instead of actually having to deal with the roar mechanic of getting knocked up, all they had to do was have those 3 warriors just jump, and they were able to do it just fine.
You know what I think that they should do on that last boss in the first new raid is that they should probably get Ignitia in there. And what I mean is that Ignitia is really good about dotting bosses up than watching everybody else. I mean, let's get on that subject here for a second. I swear to you, Ignitia is calling out on the last boss with those orbs. He's got the little blue orbs coming at me. This guy's calling out numbers. Codger don't know what the F is going on and is jumping in and taunting things, and it's like, Ignitia, what are you doing? And Ignitia goes, oh, I got dots on the boss. I'm just watching the blue ball go around.
Hey, in his defense, you did wipe the group to blowing us up.
No,
so.
no, that was militia,
Yes,
and I
yes.
think we could get militia in here to state some facts. All right, because fact of the matter is, Ignitia was watching my blue balls, and he was not the boss.
What? There goes our sponsor. Thank you, Ron.
But like, no, seriously, Rondo. In that case, right there, all I did was put my dots up, and I was looking at the ball itself. I was watching the stacks, and all I
know you were looking at the ball. You were calling out the stacks. You didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah, you ran. No, you ran. You ran like you never ran before. I was amazed at it. I'm going like, well, it's at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're dead.
Codger,
You know,
Codger, I just want to know, were we dead before that because you had no idea what was being called out?
I have no idea if you guys were dead before that. I'll be honest. I was flipping tired. But aside from that, the worst of it wasn't even that. Worst of it is, what I worked out with Xanthus is, you know, we're switching after a certain amount of stacks from the boss. At no point has anyone prior to Ignitia indicate anything else was going to be called out in regards to stacks. So what am I listening for? I'm listening for stacks on Xan. So what do I hear coming out of Ignitia? Thinking that maybe Xan's just too piled up to say anything? Stacks on Xan. I had an oh crap moment. I was like, oh mother, nah, not happening. And so I was like, I can't let this raid drop. I'm losing it. I'm too tired. What am I doing? So I immediately jumped to Xan. I immediately taunted the boss. My turn was totally off key and wipe.
No, and I'm telling you, Codger, dude, you did what every good tank does. You said, torpedo! I don't care what's going on. I got the boss.
Well, yeah, that's my job.
Ignitia did what a good raid lead should do, and took something that wiped us a few times and tried to do it. We just something just probably needs to be worked out a little better. So.
BS. Ignitia is not the raid lead. Okay, at this point in time, Talonzz was the raid lead. Ignitia was calling out random numbers to kill us. I say he was jihad on us. He was jihad on us.
Ish. I'll actually say I was thinking I was doing the right thing. I mean, there's so many mechanics going on with this new fight. I wanted to make sure that everybody was informed of what is going on, especially in the cases of like if one of those electric balls were going after the tanks, so they can still focus on the boss and they know exactly what's going on. And then all of a sudden I start calling this, and I admit it, I killed the raid. I went all jihadist on you guys just by
you did.
Giving misinformation.
I'll tell you this much, okay? Had there been 2 extra additional words like blue sphere, I wouldn't have done what I did.
I know, right?
That's simple. Just
that's
blue
too much.
Sphere X stat.
That's too much.
Hey, it was our first.
Screaming it.
It was our first attempt at that boss. That's all I gotta say.
No.
We need to work out some bugs.
I don't care if it's your first or your last attempt. This guy was screaming numbers, and I'm not letting it go. You jihadist bastard. All right. This guy was like, I'm gonna put a blue ball on Raging Rondo, and this guy's gonna run around screaming until he lands somewhere where he's gonna kill everybody. That's what he did. He's a leader.
So
you know what? Call the CIA. Call the CIA.
Oh, they're watching. Remember. The- so you're saying essentially Ignitia gave you blue balls? That's what I heard.
He did. All right. All right.
That wasn't me who gave him blue balls. It was the boss. All right, I'm just gonna go with that. I was just calling out the numbers on it.
Did he glitch your blue balls? That's what I want to know.
Well, yeah, you're right. So we were on the topic of glitching, but Ignitia talked for literally 5 minutes until I was snoring. All right, so I just had to bring this up. That you can't glitch a boss when you're killing everybody.
Next time you want to run a raid right, you give me lead. Watch what happens.
No, what? You'll take us to Titan 6 and fucking... and you'll forget to get out of the bomb. It's 2 steps, Codger!
No, just
I
ask
swear
me
the
what
rock was
happens.
bugged.
That rock, man. That rock, man. It didn't even do anything. I'm watching on the fraps, and it's like Codger's saying, I'm moving, I'm trying to get there. And then it's like, boom. Codger, you never moved. Oh, it's all in love, man. It's all in love.
It's good time.
Hey, I moved on my screen. I blame server. Server lag. I'm sticking to that.
I think we should give
Yeah,
Big lead, because then Big would increase the amount that our raid freaking gives me for repairs when Codger and Ignitia are killing us.
No.
But I also would take all the gear for my companion as well, so you know, I think my companion's overgeared.
Talonzz a tight
I would
one
like to
over
bring-
there. I want that question answered. Talonzz,
Yeah, but I would like to bring this up, though,
50K?
real quick.
really?
But let me bring this up. One of our viewers is straight up saying, just give Codger raid lead and we'll be over quick either way. Yes, this is very true. Codger tends to do what any really good tank does, and that's go as fast as possible through any version of content. So it's either you're going to kill everything really, really quick, or you're going to die really, really quick. Because there is no warning, there's no preparation. It's either what health you have is what you got. So let's freaking nut up and do this.
All right, guys. I've had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you for listening. Go ahead and check out Ultra Sabers. Like Talon said earlier, they are actually raffling off 30. Like, how much do those things cost, Talon? You've got 2 sitting like right behind you.
Well, it really ranges, and that's one of the great things about they're custom sabers. So you could customize. You could go on your lower end and pay, $50-$60 for one, or you could go all out and go nuts, which is what I did on my Graflex collector's edition that I'm going to show you right here. I brought it down off the wall behind me, so I can show it off. Here, let me get a good angle on that.
Yeah,
Sorry, my lighting's not really good here.
There you go.
Yeah, lighting's not great here. So this is nickel-plated. The craftsmanship on it is insane. It's a high-quality piece of machinery. The camera, you can't really tell the nickel plating, but it does really give it that high quality shine. This is obviously engineered after Anakin's lightsaber that Obi-Wan handed down to Luke in New Hope. And then he lost it when Vader chopped his arm off. But yeah, this piece is my pride and joy right here. I spent too much money on it, and I'd tell you how much, but my wife is in the room and she'll kill me. So,
I know that feeling.
But well worth it. I mean, you don't understand. I mean, look, if you could see, I'm wearing my Vader shirt right here. I'm a Star Wars freaking nerd, and I can't explain the feeling of the first time I held that saber in my hand, and it's the closest thing you'll get to having a real lightsaber in your hand. So
So that's ultrasabers.com. Thank thank you guys for listening, and have a great night. And good rating. Good luck
Yeah.
rating this week.
Yeah.